What's up, YouTube? Capital G here. Welcome to another episode of The Excellent Adventures. These are the excellent adventures of Future Fusion ABC, and I like a deck like this, not just because obviously I'm a Fusion enthusiast. I'm going to like pretty much any archetype that is Fusion based, but I have always liked Future Fusion as a card. All the way back in the GX days, I'm going to say, let's think here. Power of the Duelist. I'm going to say Future Fusion came out in Power of the Duelist because Overload Fusion came out in that set, and I am pretty sure Future Fusion and Overload came out in the same sets. And I've always liked Future Fusion because at its best, it feels like an auto win card. It has been in like the Chaos Dragon deck from the Zexal era. When Future Fusion was first competitively seeing play, it was used in the Chimera Tech Over Dragon kind of OTK deck with Overload Fusion, and you just summon a big ass dragon that could attack like a billion times, and you kill your opponent and like one fell swoop. And you know, it's one of the cards that has kind of been done right with the erratas, because sometimes Konami has cards that they just feel like they fucking ruined them, like Sinister Serpent. The second you saw that, you were just like, oh god, they ruined that card. But then there are sometimes you have cards like Ring of Destruction that are still very viable, or Future Fusion. Future Fusion right now, even post nerf, it still feels like it has that incredibly high ceiling. It just feels a little slower, and this is not a card in any deck that you want your opponent to resolve, whether it be Infernoids or like ABC. And I don't know why more people don't actually play this in ABC, and it's kind of crazy. We're gonna go ahead and roll this because when you actually use Future Fusion, you don't even reveal the ABC Buster Dragon to your opponent. You actually reveal Chimera Tech, and you get to send a ton of monsters to the grave, and then you get to actually summon like a bunch of ABCs in one turn. So he didn't go for the Tsukiyumi play, and you know, this is actually probably not the best replay to start on, because I'm talking about how he didn't open Future Fusion here, but he did open Double Strike. And when you open Double Strike, you're probably gonna win unless your opponent opens like Twin Twist or something like that, or I don't know, they're playing like barrier statues. But you know, he opens with Double Strike, which is able to carry him through this first turn. But I believe he is going to get the Future Fusion sometime soon. Now, luckily for him, even though his Thrasher did die, he is able to still keep the Union Hanger, get his ABCs set up, and he is able to actually draw the Future Fusion by ditching a couple of cards in his hand. He doesn't really need the A, B, and C pieces in his hand. He kind of just wants them in the graveyard. So he gets another copy of Union Hanger. There goes one Buster Dragon, which he's going to try and pitch and blow up the Merkaba. Merkaba is going to say no. He gets a second ABC Buster Dragon, and then he's just going to attack, and he gets wrecked by Alistair. And it just dawned on me. I was like, how many times do you see two ABC Buster Dragons lose to the same monster in the same turn? Like, I don't think I've ever actually seen one monster fend off two ABC Buster, not only in attack, but the banish effect as well. So he kind of got wrecked by one card here. And it's actually okay, because in ABC, as long as you can keep a strong graveyard, you're pretty much good. The thing about it is, and I think he's going to dump on this turn, right? Yeah, he showed the Chimera Attack last turn, so he gets to drop a bunch of ABCs in the grave, and then he summons a third Buster Dragon, third time's the charm. He's finally able to get it. He's finally able to get that Merkaba off the field, and now this guy is basically just sitting on a Maiden of Eyes of Blue, which it can be a little bit of a difficult card to defend against, or to not defend against, but to get rid of, unless you use Utopia the Lightning like a genius, and you know, that's basically just the out to it. He's going to uncontact, and here's the really crazy part, right? So Future Fusion resolves. Since he didn't go for ABC, he went for Chimera Tech Over Dragon. He actually has to either A, let this card blow up his entire field, or B, the smarter, he has to strike his own monster. So yeah, like how often do you see someone have to actually strike their own monster? But if he didn't strike there, he would have lost his entire field. So he goes into Daigustal Emerald, which is pretty good in this deck, because you can put your Buster Dragons back into your deck, and then you can summon them later. Because I mean, as long as your graveyard stays pretty much set up, then you're pretty good. So he draws the D barrier. He's putting more cards back in his deck. I believe he's going mainly for the fusions, and there you go. You see a fourth ABC Buster Dragon summon this turn, but he still has not actually outed the Maiden of Eyes with Blue, although Alternative Dragon's not really going to do anything. He's going to uncontact. Yeah, I would have to imagine at some point he's looking to summon, what's it called? He has to be, there it is. I'm like, dude, you have to be looking to summon Utopia the Lightning, right? I mean, it's 5,000 free damage and basically a GG there. So he finally summons that Utopia the Lightning. Now, if this guy was ever going to try and make a play, I don't think it would have happened, because you can see he did have Max C to counter any special summons, and he had Dimensional Barrier. So if he was trying to use Invocation and try and fuse, like, I'm not sure anything was actually going to, like, I just don't see any way that he was going to get through those two back row cards. And in this duel, it looks like he did open up with Future Fusion, although he's going second. Okay, there we go. It's not every game's going to be, hey, Future Fusion, GG, no re. But I don't think this is a very strong play. He summoned he summoned what's it called, Caliga, which is the dark one. That's like I mean, it's a slowdown in the game card, but it's like one of the worst ones to me. Honestly, it might be the worst one. So he's gonna activate that Future Fusion first, and this is probably like the best hand you could have asked for to get Future Fusion and to get Union Hanger. Like, you're setting up really, really strong. And he has the Gamma Cell, but it just doesn't do anything if your opponent doesn't have like Buster Dragon on the board. And you see right here, he's really walling up as his Alistar is basically going to get hit with that Solemn Strike. Dark Hole should make things a little more interesting. And look how many cards he actually gets to drop into the graveyard. There's ABC Buster Dragon 1. There's ABC Buster Dragon 2. And you know, he actually has to use Alistar defensively, otherwise this guy would have just died, and that is really, really bad too. And he has like the worst of the wind witches. I mean, well, I guess Glass Bell can get Ice Bell, but as long as he has a monster, it's really not going to do anything. And I think that's what he's going to do. Yeah, he searches Ice Bell. He's going to Kaiju, but I don't really know that Kaiju did anything, because he still hasn't, like, you traded a 3,000 attacker for a 2,700 attacker. I don't really know about that play. He is going to uncontact, and right now he'll have a couple of he'll have some potential. Oh no, wait, rip. For the second time in a row. Okay, so let me explain something. I forgot that was going to happen. See, the thing about Future Fusion in this ABC, you need to kill your opponent quickly before the Chimera Tech comes out and blows up your entire field. I kind of forgot that was going to happen, but it's fine. Dark Hole, he summons another Buster Dragon. Look, the point is just summon Buster Dragon for days. Now, he does have the Ice Bell, which is going to get Solemn Strike. At this point, he's able to uncontact, and he should be able to punch for game next start. It is kind of crazy because it feels very high risk, high reward. So it does feel kind of balanced, because if you let the Over Dragon come out, the Over Dragon will actually blow up your whole field. So you have to essentially kill your opponent before that. But you see he goes into Digustal Emerald. He puts his fusions back into his deck, and then he just summons another one. Wait a minute, did he not, hold on, did he not normal summon this turn? I feel like he did not normal summon just now, and that he could have just normal summoned B and just won the duel. I mean, don't get me wrong, he's still going to win anyways, as he draws a Wonder Wand, Twin Twisters for nothing, but he could have clearly just won the duel. I don't know why he didn't just normal summon and win the duel. But you see the downside of Future Fusion, but it's only a downside if you send Chimera Tech. But that's probably the card you're going to want to send, because, or excuse me, show your opponent, because that's how you get the most resources. Now, I don't know what this guy's playing. Looks like he's playing some type of pendulum deck that also involves Royal Magical Library. I don't really know of like what synergy, but he's also playing Spellbox. Like, what is this? So I'm not gonna lie, I would have done the same thing. Anytime my opponent has Royal Magical Library, I'm probably just gonna try and get that off the field, even if I have to use something like Evac or Torrential Tribute, although I guess he just pendulum summon it back. But if you have like TT, just get it off the field, because you know your opponent is looking to activate a whole bunch of spells, and you clearly had enough to at least draw one card with the 2 pendulums and you know, Odd Eyes, plus he had the Sky Iris, and he pendulum summons too. That's going to get that Solemn Strike, and I believe he's gets a, I mean, like I said, guys, don't let Future Fusion resolve. Look how many cards he sends to the grave. 1, 2, and 3 ABCs in one turn. GG no re. I like how the Future Fusion was literally a 1-card OTK here in this duel. Like, Future Fusion was the only card, I guess the Strike, right? Like, he literally only needed 2 cards to win this duel. Like, Future Fusion and Strike. Just stop the Pendulum Summon with the Strike, and Future Fusion will literally give you 9,000 damage on the board. That is... whew, Future Fusion is still an amazing card. And then let's look at the last one. That's why I've always liked the card. And it does feel just like, don't let Future Fusion resolve. This one's against BLS. And once again, he opens with Future Fusion. He plays Overload Fusion. I didn't even know that. Okay. And it is unfortunate we really haven't seen Galaxy Soldier do much of anything. It'd have been kind of nice to see maybe a Cyber Dragon Infinity. Once again, he opens with Solemn Strike, and actually, I think this is another just straight up OTK, yeah, because he once again is able to. Oh no, he goes for what's it called? He goes for the Overload play this turn. Okay, there we go. He didn't even want. He didn't even want to go for the triple ABC Buster Dragon. He was like, yo, Cap, that ABC Buster Dragon that only gives me 9,000 damage. Let's go for almost 14,000 damage. He also plays Power Bond for, I guess, even more spicy, like potential just massive OTK machine blowout. So just a really fun deck. And If you guys want to test this deck or you guys want to experiment with it, I'll have it in the description. Just keep in mind that if you are going to use Future Fusion and you're not going to reveal ABC Buster Dragon, you're going to go for Over Dragon. Over Dragon does blow up your entire field when you summon it, so don't let it be summoned when you have a big massive field. The theory is basically like what you guys saw in the duel before this, is to send a whole bunch of machines to the grave and then just try and massively blow your opponent out during that turn that Future Fusion resolves, because you will be able to summon 3 ABC Buster Dragons in one turn, which is pretty dope considering you're doing it off of one card, and at that point you probably still have a bunch of cards in your hand, so you still can actually, you know, discard cards and banish cards from their side of the field. So just a little interesting deck. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, give the video a thumbs up. Thank you guys for watching as always, and subscribe if you have not already.